is ancient statistics. If you want to do this professionally, you just have to really study this.
She did not know and I did not tell her. We didn't even exchange Instagram username. The next thing she said was, your first child will be a girl. And I have a girl.
Scammy fortune tellers, they use the readings to go and scam the person.
You can actually change your destiny, am I right?
Yes, I truly believe that life is in our own hands.
It's not just destiny, you can change it.
Do you believe that your lines in your hand can tell your fate? Having here with us, we have Ling, who has been doing palm reading for 16 years. Welcome, Ling. What is palm reading generally, and how did palm reading come about?
Palm reading is considered, you can call it ancient statistics. It's dated about 3,000 to 5,000 years ago. So the origin was either in India or China. History really cannot tell. But it grew popularity there, after which it actually spread to Greece. Then after a while, the people start saying things, it was like witchcraft or anything related to negative taboo, right? Then after that, they banned it until the 1700s, where it started becoming popular again. Think of it as an inverted commas spiritual pop culture. It started getting a lot more popular simultaneously in Asia, Chinese side of the world, Chinese, Korea, Japan. So now it started getting popular internationally.
Do usually people associate palm reading with spiritual things?
What's the definition of spiritual?
External forces.
What's external forces?
Tap on.
Woo-woo?
Yeah.
No. There's no woo-woo. I am not a very woo-woo person, I think. But it's more of you can think of it as more of a spiritual creative art. It's a form of ancient statistics dated thousands of years ago. To a certain extent, if you want to do this professionally, you just have to really study this, because it's really very much like statistics. But probably if you really want to do it professionally, to a certain extent, you probably do need a slightly higher level of intuition. But strictly going onto the path or the route of statistics is so possible as well.
Is palm reading more towards天分 kind of thing, or do you you can actually learn this kind of thing? Do you really have to be born with that skill to
Actually, no. This was I wasn't born with a downloaded manual on how to do palm reading. I was just very obsessed with it from a very young age, because my whole family can actually do it.
Do you mind sharing how did it come about for you?
I think this was when I was about 4 or 5. So everything, when you're young as a child, you just mimic whatever your parents do. Then one day I saw my dad sitting at a sofa. He's just doing this. Then I was like, sorry, Daddy, what are you doing? He was reading my future. I was like, So I was so every time I asked him, so what does this line mean? What does this line mean? Gradually, when since I was 7 or 8 years old, so every time I ask him what does this line mean? What does this mean? So does it mean I have money? Is my studies going to be good? Can you tell
But your dad
tomorrow?
actually learned this thing before lah, or he?
Yes, he learned it before, yes.
Okay,
And
I
then
see.
after that, but my dad is somebody who's a man of few words. So he'll say things like, oh, it's good. Yeah, tomorrow you'll pass your studies. Or next time you have money. I said, where's the money? Here. I said, where is here? Where? Then he's here. So of course I was I don't
Curious.
feel good that I don't get an answer. Then it's just tapping my nature. It's like 人就是犯贱的嘛. You the more you don't get it, the more you want it. So you don't tell me that, I go and self-research. So basically at home I have a whole stack of, when I was much younger, I remember I have tarot, palmistry, numerology, but it just felt, I'm a very feelings, intuition-based person, but I just felt very called to looking at my palms. How come your palms can say so much about you? And then I buy books that I just read every single book, that I try every single sort of method or tactics on the book. I think I read about more than 40 books.
What?
Yes,
Okay.
everything was purely self-taught. So and then I just keep trying and doing. So it's a bit like a double life. During daytime I go to school, then outside of school I was doing this.
Does your peers know about this? Do they what's Ling doing?
Yeah, why are
do they
you
judge
looking
you?
at your hands?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Then after then sometimes my friends would be like, what are you doing? I said, reading my future, shut up. So I was
So direct.
yeah, then I was I don't disturb me. So I think this started when I was 16 or 17, and they're like, hey, why don't you just do a quick reading for me? So I was I'm not any professional, but I just gave it a try, those 15, 20 minutes kind. Then they're like, wow, xiao wei, how come you know so much? Then after that, people have to keep to talk, right? They just respect. So they ask me, then I say, but it's very tiring. So I do 3, 4, 5. Then I was okay, but after I realized it was very tiring, then I say, actually I don't want to do. Then one suddenly prompted and say, why don't you do it as an energetic exchange? Like take money, earn a small fee from this. Then I went to ask my dad. I asked him if I should do this. Then my dad was if you want to go, okay, but don't think of this as a way to earn money. Just think of it as it's just simply energetic exchange. But you see how much I can allocate. So I just thought of it as like a passion project, and that was since I was like 17, and it was like all the way until now.
So
Yeah.
70, you start charging money from your classmates. Like, hi, do you want to palm read?
I
Do
mean,
you?
I never go around scamming people like, hey, you're very account for a fee. It's like 我从来不强求的. It's more like they will approach one.
I see,
Because
I
this kind
see.
of thing, you wouldn't like people come up to you and then project fear.
Yeah,
And be
correct.
like, hey, I think
Yeah,
something
yeah.
might happen to you, give me money, then 我帮你挡灾. To me, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
I see, I see.
Yeah.
But when did it first click that, hey, this is something legit? Like, I can actually use this to like help people, or like, you know, like,
Initially, you have your doubt also. Like, these are just lines, but how can it really predict the future also? Yeah.
But I never really considered this as helping people. In fact, I always say anybody that I managed to cross pathways, right? 都是我很大的贵人. Like one living example is Nicole. 她也是我很大的贵人.
yeah,
真的. So
right.
to me, it was never something like, oh, this was legit. Like for me, even until now, I still wouldn't even consider it legit. I'm just a very obsessed person. Once I start on something, right? It's just like, if I want to do it right, then I'll just do it right. Sometimes, people will like project into the potential future, like, oh, what if I do wrong? What if like, it's not going to turn out well? But I
That
really
will
don't
sound
focus on that.
us. We always think like that.
But I like to do the direct opposite. I always like to tell myself, like, okay, I'll catch myself doing that, but I'll step out of a situation. I imagine myself advising like a very anxious little child. And I'll just say like, 与其想未来. So instead of projecting the future, just focus on now. So I'll just make sure that I try to every single session, like 问心无愧, just do my best. That if anything, whether there is like impartial good or not so good feedback, right, that I really learn from it. It was for me actually a very powerful platform, right, to practice the now, like the art of being.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, to our audience, if you're wondering, the lady beside me, she's actually Nicole. So she's actually Ling's client. Nicole, do you want to introduce yourself and how you actually met Ling, and why did you go to her for palm reading? Or like, what about like your beliefs in this?
I met Ling, I think, like 5 years ago. So naturally, I'm very inclined to all these kind of things. I want to know like why, how she can see. At time she wasn't. I think it was still her passion project. So we met at Starbucks. So I went to her. And she's just like, okay, show me your hands. And then that was that. She does not require any other thing. So the past events that she said were pretty accurate. I had my doubts initially because I've been to quite a few. But the one thing that made me like trust her was when she said, one hand shows that you're married and one hand shows that you're not supposed to get married.
Oh, you mean both has to be the same, is it? Or
I'm not the
oh,
palm reader
okay,
expert.
okay. Okay, cool,
Yeah, you should
cool.
ask her.
Is that true? Like,
Left and right hand have different
to be-
meanings.
Yes, they have different meanings, one.
What does each hand means? The left and the right.
So left hand generally is what you're born with. Then right hand is whatever you do now, it will change. Okay, but then in order to really see the steps that you can potentially take to actualize your highest potential, I have to see both, because I have to see where you are potentially transcending your potential or where you are potentially also under living your potential. And that's how I give the advice accordingly. So I still have to see both hands.
So left hand is you're born with, right hand is what you're experiencing. So left hand will change that since you're
No,
born with
everything will also change, one, but it's like the minor lines that will change every month. That's why I can do monthly forecasts. Like say for example, some of my clients, they come in July. I can see from July until the next year, June. So minor lines actually change every month, but like the major trajectory, probably not so much. Sometimes the lines can deepen. So if you transcend your potentials in, for example, your money making opportunities, then your money lines would deepen. It doesn't necessarily lengthen, because to a certain extent, either lengthening or shortening a certain line, right, might actually mean a change in the projection of the timelines. But if those lines don't change, it's just like the deepening or the lightening of the lines, then actually there's a different meaning also.
I always suspected that something changed, because every time I look at my palm, something looks different. But I'm like, cannot be lah. Like, I just born with this, so why would change? That kind of thing. But okay, that's interesting.
Why not you
Yeah.
try taking picture like now and then 1 year later you compare?
Oh, that's
That's a very good
that's-
idea.
yeah, no.
That's a
How
very
you
good
remember
idea.
1 year ago and whether the line got deepened or not. You also take
Uh,
pictures.
Actually, no. But the funny thing is, I have this weird photographic memory. But it only for palm lines. I mean, if that applied to my studies, then probably I would be a pastel scholar. But it didn't work. Okay, just strictly for palm lines. I don't know why it just works like that. But I can somehow like I may not consciously remember the lines. But then somehow if I meet the person again 1 year later, somehow there'll be like inklings from the back of my mind, like coming out like the key factors or the projects from the previous session, and is as comparison to the current session. Like usually for like my repeated clients.
That sounds like a talent actually.
If only it was applicable in my education,
Fun.
it would have been also like very beneficial. But I mean I can't choose what this kind of thing.
I think we all wish that.
Yes, that's true.
But I'm you interested in Nicole. So you actually if like you always go back to her or every 2 months or 3 months?
I don't have that much money.
Oh.
So the first time I went to her, she gave an overview. I think past, present, future. Then the following year, I did not go. But 2 years later, I did went, and afterwards I went annually. So I think I'm a little bit different because I go to her to want to get scolded by her.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
School is
Okay.
such a harsh word.
She will give her money forecast, but that's just that just gives you a direction. But in between, she will give you advice. So it is her advice that I value.
Like what kind of advice?
So for example, few years back I was in a marketing company. And then she said, oh, my bosses are my 贵人, which is benefactors. I was like, oh, okay, but that was before I even joined the company. And then when I joined, everything was good. Then like, and she told me that your benefactors might not be the one that will actually go and take care of you, give you TLC and stuff like that. But they might be the one that actually push you to your highest potential because they can trigger certain emotions or situations that you're supposed to learn from it. Yeah. So I don't have anyone other than her that will actually be so wise to tell me all these kind of things. Yeah.
A very direct and real advice based on your reading lah.
Before you went to her, what made you feel like, okay, I should go and try palm reading? Like, why palm reading?
I tried others before, but I've never seen a young pretty lady do palm reading before. Usually it's those
Sis, thank
outside the
you.
temple and
Thank-
that kind of thing, right? Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah, we see a lot outside the
Semalu.
yeah, Semalu one.
Chinatown, yeah, they have a lot.
I think when I see all this, I would think 这样还是老的辣. You know, the older you have, the more experience you have.
I beg
would
to
think like that
differ.
also.
Age does not determine your maturity. The experiences that you went through.
Do you have second doubts about what she said at the Starbucks at that time?
Okay, I'll just give a very brief explanation. I was already married. And then, but she did not know and I did not tell her. We didn't even exchange Instagram username and my account was private. The next thing she said was, your first child will be a girl and I have a girl. And the next thing she said was, I will have 2 businesses. One, I will sell it, but I've already sold it. So how can someone that do not know me is able to tell me sort of this kind of
Okay,
things?
spooky. If me, I also will
Yeah.
immediately
Have
trust that person.
you all tried her services?
No, not yet.
You all should.
This is the first time.
I highly recommend her.
You talk a lot about intuition, like you can remember this palm from last year. So a lot of time you are using your intuition.
I would say 30%, 70% will be more of like the statistics, but in my readings, I will also have like my intuition that is involved in it also. The statistics ratio, right, is purely from strategic data that I've learned.
Wow, this one very full, a lot of math.
It's very much like math of
Yeah,
like kind of
very.
you see statistics, ratio, and things like that.
Wow.
Can you
Yes.
train this intuition that you said?
I think everybody has a level of intuition, but training intuition is not having how much intuition, is being with it and feeling safe to and trusting yourself to align with it. Then that is the part that will heighten the intuition. Your intuition has always been born strong. It's just that through many years of like subconscious and conscious layerings of conditioning, probably it can be maybe society expectations, our own inner critic expectations, then it projects skepticism on the intuition. So I think intuition actually gets stronger, right? But actually it's always been strong. You're just dusting off layers of the projections. It's like a chicken and egg thing. Then the more you trust it, the more you dust off your layers of skepticism, assumptions about your own negativity or insecurities, things like that.
This is very interesting. Have you ever like have clients come to you and like want to learn from you or like tuti?
Have, yes. But I pick.
Oh, okay.
Also, you have 徒弟 also.
Not necessarily 徒弟, but for me, because I don't really believe in this like 师徒关系 that kind, because I believe that anybody that I meet, right, they are a form of mentor or guidance for me. So it's more like I like to see everybody like as equal. So even if like for example they learn, right, it's not even learning, it's like I think it's a connection. And the people that I connect with, they approach me, I intuitively sense I feel I can connect with them, potentially help them in some way, then I will choose. And also, of course, the bare minimum non-negotiable, they cannot use it for negativity. They means say like they cannot harm other people, they cannot screw up people's lives up. And it's not something that they use to project on their own ego.
Mm.
You mentioned that it can screw people's life up. How?
Yeah, actually, I just wanted to ask that also.
I mean, do you not read the news? You see all those like scammy fortune tellers just because they're a bit more intuitive. Then they start like scamming people,
Oh,
like, overselling like fake products. Or it's not even fake products. It's
you
like they
need to
just
buy this
scam
to
people.
protect yourself. Don't know
But,
what, don't know
but
what.
not so much of that, but those that literally scam people, harm other people's lives, that kind, where they use the readings. They use it as a platform to go and like scam the person, to get the person to like look up to them, to worship them, all that kind of thing. All this like this
Like a cult thing.
worshipping,
Yeah.
this cult thing, right? And then scamming people's money, creating experiences for them that elevates them to make them feel like they're better than other people. Like, where is this logic? They give this line of work such a bad rap. That's also the reason why like 我不喜欢 like 人家 like like just come.
It's more of like a affinity thing that
Yes.
they
Because I
come
really
to.
believe that anybody that you have a connection with, even via just having a session, 是一种缘分来的. It's an affinity.
Then most of your clients come to you for what guidance, like career, most of them.
Career and love lor. I mean, money lor. Basically, these three areas. But the last 1 to 2 years, there was a bigger uptrend of people just really wanting to positively work on themselves to figure out what their blind spot checkers are. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe Ling, you want to show us a little bit about what rough general lines are there that we can identify. Yeah.
Okay, so for every newborn individual, right, we only have 3 key lines: the heart line, the mind line, and the lifeline. Everything else generally is a blank slate. Why? Because your life is a blank slate. So as you grow, as you age, all your lines will appear or disappear accordingly. Usually I do readings. Youngest I do is 18 years old. Before 18 years old, can be a little bit more reactive, but I do short sessions, maybe say for children to see their core characteristics. But to do like the full in-depth consultation, youngest who have to be 18 years old and above. Okay. So your heart line usually represents a person's capacity to love, personality in love, how their love life will be like, when they can get married, how many children they can have, when they might have emotional trauma, okay, how their character is like in love, how their character is like in friendship, how their character is like in family life.
There's so much in one line.
Yes. So the length of the line from like, let me say how short, whether it ends in the mount of your Saturn or ends in the mount of Jupiter, and how it curves, and the statistical ratio of these as compared to your headline, your lifeline, and even your affinity lines makes a lot of difference. The depths of it also make a lot of difference. Okay, so this is your headline. So your headline represents your mental agility, the depth of your thinking, how your core character will be like at work in your career, and also how your mental state is like in terms of what kind of potential traumas you might have, also from like the head space, what kind of head mental diseases you might have, what kind of physical head diseases you might have, also at what age, all that also can see.
Oh, wow.
So the length of it, the depth of it also somewhat aligns to the kind of characteristics that you need to have in your career for you to be successful also.
Mm.
So
The
this is your
depth of
headline.
it meaning what?
The depth of it. So it's like how deep,
Oh.
like how and the ratio of it according to like your fate line, your sun line also makes a lot of difference. Okay, so this is very generic. I'm just giving definition. Okay. And then this is your lifeline. So I'm gonna break an assumption. Everybody thinks that lifeline, okay, equates to how long you will live. That's bullshit. Okay.
Lifeline, ma.
But the thing is, your lifeline depicts your vitality. Okay. What kind of diseases you might potentially have. I can see what are some of the organs that you probably need to take a little bit more care of. When you might potentially go to jail, when you might have lawsuit, all that kind of thing, at what age potentially. But it does not depict how long you will live.
Oh, it does not depict how long you will live.
No.
It's not literally life.
No, some
right?
people have shorter lifeline, but shorter lifeline, it doesn't mean shorter lifespan. It means to say, for example, slightly weaker vitality, maybe easier to have fall sick easier, maybe say immune system a little bit more sensitive. It does not necessarily mean that they actually have a short life.
So is these 3 lines are hard? Is it mine?
Yes, my headline and your lifeline.
lifeline. Then I have this small little line here. What is that? I know, right?
Which one?
That the
Oh, in the
holding on
middle, is
camera.
it?
Yeah,
This one?
correct.
So this one's actually called your fate line. So this is where you see your potential career trajectory.
Oh,
This is called your fate line.
Fate.
Like in the middle.
is it some people don't have?
Some
Yeah.
people really
There,
don't have
I got
one.
one here. See this one? Yeah. Yeah, let the camera see my one. This line. Okay.
Your fate line, right, actually represents your career trajectory, your career potential, how well you can potentially perform your career, what kind of characteristics also aligning to some of the data on your headline, what kind of characteristics you need to embody in order to be able to do it in your career, your potential career trajectory all the way until you retire.
Very interesting because when you say this, right, only when I became older, right, I suddenly see my fate line. Like I did not have this line. I
Usually we
remember.
won't have fate line until at least, right? Earliest. Usually it will appear between 14 to 21 years.
Yeah, correct. Wow, so I'm not weird lah.
No,
thought-
you're not out
I
of
thought
the
suddenly like, why I got one more line on my hand? Like I noticed lah, like, my both hands suddenly got this line. So I see.
You mentioned there's
that-
also the ratio, right? What do you look for in the ratio?
So the ratio, for example, as compared to your hardline to your headline, right? The ratio you can see a person's character and also the ratio difference between your left and your right palm. Like, cause both your lines, the length, the depth, they are also actually different one. If you see, they are not exactly the same.
Palm size there and the finger length.
Also make a difference. Yes.
Oh, finger also
Yeah, even the mounts also, like, the fleshy bumps, like the ratio of the mounts, the fleshy bumps across the palms or even across each other in the same palm also makes a lot of difference.
Oh, there's so much thing in one hand.
I thought that's just because I'm fat. Then I got more meat or something like
I
that.
don't know, that's yourself. You're just very lucky to eat well.
有福有福。
有福哦。
对，有福气, yes.
What are some of the lines that people rarely hear about that actually matters, like interesting lines that mean something?
Usually people think the lines, like for example on your wrist, right, don't make sense, but ours are called bracelet lines. It actually depicts how your health will be like, your health, your life vitality based on your health, your core characteristics about your resilience. People usually when they do palm reading, they just read your palm, right? But they don't read like the bracelets, the wrist, or that. Actually, that one also matters.
Oh, I didn't know the bracelet line is part of the palm as well.
Yes, it's actually
Yeah.
one of the first few lines that I noticed to see whether
Oh.
a person has resilience and how their life will be like as their character.
Oh, okay.
So is a person hand dry, is it you can tell?
Hand dry is just that you need moisturizer, that's it. Then I'll recommend a
Sometimes
good
you know when
moisturizer.
you crack, then I thought it's a line.
No, all these like crack lines, hand injury lines, all that kind of thing, it doesn't make a change in your palm lines. Not at all.
When Ling give you her advice, right? What made you so determined to follow it?
I wasn't determined. I just don't want to be in pain anymore. I'll just give a very generalization on your question, okay? People always say this and that. They complain about so many things, right? But it's just one simple question. Like, what choices are you not making to make the change? Why are you choosing to stay the same? Instead of, she always has this terminology, like 你要怨天怨地. Why not you just sit down in silence and ask yourself? Because for me, I think one of my biggest hurdles is my relationships. Although things do get better, but the same things, there are patterns that are repeating over and over again. Then work on it. Because I want to be happy. I want everything. Then you work on it. You can go to 10,000 million palm reader, right? But if you don't work on yourself, if you don't understand yourself, nothing's gonna change. Her brother said something that stuck with me for a very long time. It's in fact it's the bio for my podcast. To love is to understand. Everyone wants to be understood, but do they even understand themselves in the first place?
Wow. That is
That
deep.
hit us.
Then another thing that the brother said was mindfulness. And I think why Ling is not only just a friend, I respect her a lot because the advice that a person can give is equivalent to how much they have went through themselves. Impossible Nito, you read a book and then you can spit out everything. It's like a very simple sentence that I'm sure everyone see on Instagram is you attract who you are. That sentence when I was 16 versus now is totally different.
Ooh.
Yeah. Last time I would be like, am I a very bad person? Why I keep meeting like example like bad people? But now is I know that now I'm like that. I deserve this and this.
Mm. But what is it you did that when you go and find Ling, then she gave you the advice. Like how did you persevere and push through?
Yeah, what kept you going?
What kept you going actually?
It's not like a game like what keep me going, but it's as simple as introspection.
Mm. Mm.
I think the first step is awareness. You have the awareness to ask yourself or even be aware that there are things that you can do to actually honestly just be a better human.
I'm so proud of you. You see the kind of work that she's doing. This is not something people will say, And for age so young, she said she talks like a 90-year-old granny, Like a 90-year-old wise
Full
granny.
of wisdom already now.
Full of wisdom. And this is not what I tell in session. It's what she realized herself on. That's why I say 她是我的贵人. Like people can just give advice, but she's the one that connected with her own thoughts to make it happen.
Yeah.
This is a very, very powerful thing.
So well done.
I'm so proud of you, Nicole.
Other than Nicole being one of your success clients, do you have someone or like a interesting client that you can share with us? Like it goes very well for the person.
I have strict NDA policy for all sessions. Sorry, this is just a personal sort of like 原则, like a principle.
But I think you can see it on her IG stories.
But then one of the client that I hold dearest and close to, right, is actually Nicole. But I knew her since 5 years ago, and the last 5 years, right, the kind of transformative change that she took upon herself, I don't take any credit, but just her as a person growing through spirituality, the awareness, she is the one that really wants to take full accountability to understand where she is not doing well. Because humans, first thing we do, it's a normal ego thing, so never we always think it's the other party's fault. But to really grow, right, it's not just about projecting blame or just working on where you're good at. You have to unlearn where you are not so good at. And this requires powerful strength, which requires confidence and humility. And I've never met somebody, right, who really consistently worked on it. They say they want to do, but sometimes we do it like a halfway thing because it's very tiring. It's really very tiring. But the one person that continuously done it and do it over and over again is her. And the amount of work that she does, right, is, oh my God, I am very, very shocked. Really. Because like personally, as me as a person seeing the kind of growth that she have, right, I'm honestly very proud of her, even as a friend. Takes a lot.
Wow.
And she's an amazing mom as well.
Yay. It's more of like an intrinsic kind of thing, right? Like they come to you for palm reading, they have to work on themselves individually as well.
Not they have to, they are not obliged to. It's just that I'm just very, very lucky to have chances to connect with so many inspiring individuals. But I feel very honored and very fulfilled if this is a platform for them to maybe say help them see a different perspective. And even if they themselves really want to take that responsibility to work on themselves and ideally maybe say inspired by some of the advisors in the session, I feel very fulfilled. It's something money cannot buy. And that's why this line of work just gives me passion. I mean, every day you hear problem, you're love problem lah, boss invalidate them lah, not enough money lah, husband wife scold them lah. It's like every day you hear the same thing, right? It's like life is just, it's not the same for everybody, but life is fair for everybody, really. It's the same for everybody. It's unfair for everybody. That's why it's fair.
So it really seems like actually the palm reading thing, it's not just a permanent kind of thing. Like if you have some sort of a clarity in what you're reading and then you know what to work on, you can actually change your destiny. Am I right to say?
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah,
okay.
because lines really can change. Because I've seen before, of course, I can't say names as strict NDA policy, but I have clients, maybe let's just say A, okay, I won't say gender. A used to have a perfect marriage, like for both hands. But after 10 years, A came back and I saw A palm, both marriage lines were broken. Because the
That's
thing is, the
interesting.
lines were actually broken. It's not because universe chose to break the affinity apart. It's they themselves chose to the representation of the lack of connection towards each other and the lack of intimacy towards themselves to really work on their, I would say, like negative projection on themselves, and they project on a relationship that caused the relationship to end. Then when the relationship ended, the lines will change.
Right.
So 哪怕你是注定, for example, you are meant to actually have an amazing relationship, but if you don't take responsibility to honor or even work on the potential, things will change. And then the palm lines are just a reflection also of your choices and your potential future. Sometimes I hear very ridiculous things. People say like, oh, if I cut my hand lines, then maybe I'll get more money. It's like, I don't know where this logic comes from. Every time I hear this, I'm still giving this reaction. Like, why they think like that? Oh, then maybe if I draw another line, then my my wants to will come. No. You work on your emotion regulation, then your husband will come. I always like, tell people, or they say, oh, I want a prettier wife. Then maybe I cut the line that I get more 桃花. Why do people say such things? I don't know where this logic come from. If you're going to add this, please, you can tell.
I
doesn't
actually
work.
heard this of this also, actually.
It does not work like that. Okay? Your palm is just a reflection of your actions, your past actions, your current actions, and your projection of the decisions that you make into your future based on from your subconscious. Then that's how your lines will actually reflect accordingly.
So let's say if I know I will get married this year, I still need to work on it to 经营这个感情 one. Let's say cannot say, oh, 我知道我会结婚了，我就躺 I will just do nothing. So actually it reads based on your current situation. It can still change. So the destiny is not really say fixed.
So
Can I
it
say
means to
that?
say, answering your question, if 你是注定是可以结婚 and 会有那个良缘, it's like a positive affinity, then it's like a good reassurance that if you put in the right effort, it can work out. If there is no affinity, no matter how hard you work, it's not going to work. But even if you have the affinity, but if you don't make it work, right, 也是可以散的. So it can also not, it can also end accordingly. For example, now imagine now you're standing at the wife's position. Then the husband here go to a fortune teller and say, oh, like I'm not gonna like, since I'm feeling gonna work out, then every day serve me, like don't do any work. Then as a wife, you want to stay with this man, of course a while, a few years also be tahan. So all the quarrels come and the issues will come. So it's not so much of you hear it's gonna work, they don't do any work. All the more you hear it's gonna work, you have to do even more work on it to create even more positivity. So actually, you say here's good thing, right? Good things require more work actually.
Right.
So let's say 没有缘分, can I change to 有缘分 if I work on it? Is it because it's like it's not fixed
I allowed to you. I'm just a messenger.
Because like you say, if the 10 years one, right, or the marriage line is very perfect, but it can still change if you don't work on it. So let's say if there's no fate, but can I work on it to change this fate one?
More
According to palm reading.
likely, maybe this one Nicole can
Or
answer.
if there's no fate, you won't even meet the person.
Okay.
Everyone you meet is here to teach you a lesson, or you are gonna teach them a lesson.
Ling, she can be your student now.
It's a tiring job.
Yeah.
It actually drains your energy so much more than those like 9 to 6 like workers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you started palm reading, have you met with any difficulties like clients 为难你啦, or what are the challenges you have as a palm reader this journey?
Generally, I'm actually honestly a very lucky person. The people that I meet are always kind and genuinely nice. But of course, 人无完人, we cannot expect everybody to come to be like respectful and nice and stuff. Sometimes people, they behave in a way that in the past I'll get very angry, and actually honestly in the beginning I will scold one. Like for example, they come super late for the session, but usually I do back to back then they get very angry, what do extra time for them, then they'll scold me. Or they will say
But
things
that's so
like,
ridiculous. You come late.
no,
Okay.
but the thing is sometimes like, but so I'll just take a step back. Like I'll try to understand like everybody's life is so busy and okay, sure, of course I'll be upset, but if I extend an empathy without being emotionally reactive, I can just let them know like I really thank you for trusting my services and wanting more time, but I'm really sorry, it's actually written in terms and conditions really. Like I think there's SOPs to protect or like just embody. I just say I can only stop here. So as prorated, you have to pay extra. If you really did 45 minutes, you don't pay for 1 hour, just pay for 45 minutes. If you want and you really feel it's helpful, no obligation, you can book another one. They say, but wait very long. Then I say, I'm sorry. They say, can you do tomorrow? Then I say, I'm sorry.
They also never respect your time also lah. It's a profession also, this one.
But sometimes we have to be sometimes a bit understanding. Sometimes, people, usually they'll only pay money when they are not in a good space. It's precisely why they're not in a good space. Sometimes they can forget the timing or work very busy. I can't fault them. So I cannot project out expectations and then get upset also.
How is your 45 minute reading like the whole general flow?
So usually, the way I do readings now is I also do give a statistical timeline, but I hope to try to do it in a way that it's more of like a space for them. It's not just how good you are or how good you can potentially be, but what are the actions you can take in order to get there. Then usually I'll start a session by asking them maybe what's the clarity that you hope to have from today's session. We say in which area and what do you want to know. So from this question, it's already number one is a very clear boundary for me already, because I can assess if they ask me stupid questions, for example, like to harm other people or what's their boyfriend, which I hear before, which is damn nonsense, right? I'll just refer the person on the spot and I'm not taking a session.
Oh wow,
Because I am not obliged to like harm other people's life, you know.
that's so cool.
So but from the session, so it's like, so it's a 2-in-1. It's a kill two birds with one stone. First, I can see how I can facilitate the session based on what I observe from their palm lines. Another one is to filter out people who I do not want to build a connection with. And then after which, from their questions they ask, then I hope to help create the highest ROI clarity based on the time frame that we have.
So let's say they ask about love. So you only give them the reading about love, or you give them a whole general aspect. Like let's say I want to ask how will my 2026 the yun will be. So you give me all aspect, my career, love, all this.
Yes.
So they only ask about love, you only tell them about the love.
Yes. Yes, because sometimes it's not our place to give more. Some people, they don't need more. It's like you're full already, right? Then if your parents keep feeding you, right, you just don't
You
feel
cannot
good, ma.
take it.
Yeah,
cannot
so
take
it's
in.
not. We have to also respect the other person, what they choose to want to receive also.
Which is why you ask the first question, right? What do you
Yes.
want to have clarity on?
Yes.
Right. I
Yeah.
see. It sets the tone there, like
Yes.
that
And
fun
also
way, right?
a very important
Yeah.
boundary filter,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Okay. Is there something that you cannot read from palm reading?
When the person will properly die, or when will they actually die? So actually I can see to a certain extent based on inverted commas affinity when the person will potentially die. But then this is a very reactive and fluctuating sort of like factor based on the person's mental and physical diet, their conscious choice and actions in life, or whenever you can say, for lack of better word, universe or external forces wanting to do its magic. Yeah, so this one is something that I have no say and I honestly don't have the intuition about. But impartially, ideally, like if you live your best life, you really like take care, 你走路看路 you know, you eat like a rabbit and then you think well, you know, you don't think negative thoughts to like harm yourself. Then a projected lifespan timeline can see. But exactly how can't tell. But if like for example it's 注定, some people they are meant to like, we say like touch wood, like die young or die from an accident, can see one. But it's like it brought in their lives when they are born. But if along the way, for example, you think you're a speed racer or you drunk drive, then the one like I can't decide, right? Then the one I'm
Maybe
sorry that you
the
have to suffer the
the
consequences.
correct one
You're
lah.
responsible.
Any special case you cannot tell lah.
That one user problem.
有这种很难听啦，这是 their own decisions, okay?
I see.
Yeah.
But I mean, reverse back to a bit where you share, like, you know, you can actually see like that's projected, like if they're supposed to have a car accident, will you actually tell them?
If they ask, yes.
Even they ask like clarity about love, but you saw it, you
No,
won't
they
tell,
won't say.
you won't say.
Then it's better to
That-
ask something general so that you say everything.
That's actually very professional. Wow. Cause if I was to say, hey, the person tomorrow die, I will tell the person already. I was like, hey, careful tomorrow.
Yeah, I will give them hints.
But you have to understand that you have to be very responsible for your speech in this. Because
Yeah.
anybody that comes, be it whether they are very skeptical or they're very hopeful or they are fearful or they are not in a good space, or even they are in a good space but they're just curious, right? People will project onto your words. So ethics also very important. So then what if the person really survive? Then good for the person, right? But the person will say, hey, you scammer.
Oh.
Then that one you can be responsible for that, meh?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
But then if it's really meant to happen, then you say you make this person live in fear until the person die. Are you responsible for that also?
Never thought of that, but
Yeah.
that's why I say, wow, that's very professional.
Because so you mentioned when will he die, you cannot really tell. So what's one thing that people didn't know that palm reading can actually tell that is 蛮神秘的?
How much money or wealth you can actually achieve? Wealth
This one you can
potential,
tell.
Yeah. But I can't see the 40 number. People ask me, say, give me 40 number. I like, if I can give you, I also won't give you, right? I will take the number and 自己去中，不会跟人家分享的嘛。对不对? If I can see number, I won't charge $200 an hour, what, right?
right. Oh my
I'm not even be watching this really.
Yeah. Then people tell me, say, hey, help me see phone number. I say, hello, I'm a palm reader. I know 财神爷. Do I look like the low hand need the fish to take the money for you? I can't do that. I'm only paid 300 if I'm a businesswoman. If I can see number, I will charge you 3888. 4 digit. And then you earn, I also ask you for 10% commission. Correct. So I can't see numbers. I need to break that assumption. Palm really cannot see what number, what that kind of. But when you might potentially strike, yes. Whether you have the ability to strike Toto 40 or win lottery, yes. And what's your wealth potential generally in life you work hard, also can see. But I can't see the exact amount, also subjected to like how much effort you're willing to put in and things like that.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but
it
they can
really
see.
depends on the effort you're willing to put in. Like so now she mentioned like
Yes.
I can tell the future, but it also depends on how much you're willing to work on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But I'll be very honest, sometimes no matter how hard we work or how smart we work, if we cannot reach a certain potential, we can reach a certain potential. But a lot of times people 不会强求 a certain potential they cannot have one. Like some people, they say they want to be rich, right? When you ask deeper what's the definition of rich, right? Their level of rich is them at their highest potential or slightly above or slightly below. It's about there. But a lot of people won't say they want to be billionaire because if you're billionaire, right, for example, you actually, the money don't belong to you, it belongs to society. Then usually people want, basically they want a lot of money because they just want to be free of worries. But like, what's their potential to reach that kind of money and how much responsibility they can bear with that kind of money? Somewhat is also affinity, somewhat you can call it like, you can say decided, or there is a range that you can work around with that can still create fulfillment for you without the worries.
So like example you say you cannot tell the person no matter how much they work, they cannot reach the certain level. So will they ask you like how can I change this so that my financial cap will be higher? Can you all provide this?
So say some people when they reach a certain affinity for a certain level, right? But when the person asks me how can I exceed that, then I'll first ask them, are you even taking responsibility to reach your maximum first? If you cannot, then you 不用痴心妄想 to think about the furthest yet. Because a lot of times to reach a person's potential, right? Everything very easy, right? I tell you it's very hard. I can tell you more than 50% nobody's living to their highest potential. And if to a certain extent, if it's so predictable, right, that you can live your life that people can predict, right? That means to say you are somewhat living your potential, but you're not transcending it yet. You can even transcend one. So sometimes it's readings that are not accurate and not accurate in a better way, right? I feel very happy because it's a person transcend the potential one. But some people always say, oh, I want to earn 100 million. But they can't even hold a job, right? Like $3,000. They can still every time like flow with their emotions and don't show up to work. Then you don't tell me you want to earn 100 million. You can't reach that potential, then you should ask yourself where's your emotional discipline to even show up to a job.
It's kind of called
Then I will ask
lazy.
you for a total number already.
Then I'll ask you to go somewhere else.
Thank
I
you.
can't help already, you
Refund.
know.
This one is just lazy.
I don't know I
Just
say one.
hoping to strike. Yeah,
Then if
understand.
clients like they too rely on palm reading, like everything you say, then we really face you like God like that.
A few, yes. But I always scold them. I always then step out it. Like you see my face, I'm only normal human. I'm really just a normal human. I just learned statistics. I was just very passionate about statistics. I'm not Guan Yin Ma. Even though she's my female goddess, but I'm not Guan Yin Ma. I'm not universe. I can't spray any sprinkle universe juju to make your life better. So instead of praying to palm reading, it's just a reflection of you. You should be working on yourself, no? Yeah.
Because like Nicole, right, she say she never tell you anything, but you can tell things about her. While if me, I hear these sort of things, right, I also will like, Guan Yin Ma, please save
No,
me.
no, I'm not Guan Yin Ma. The Nishan is at Simalu, okay?
There's some other outside also a lot of palm reader.
Really, a lot.
A lot.
One.
Yeah. But I don't know how is it like one. Yeah.
Have you gotten your palm read by another palm reader and see whether they decipher it differently?
Have. I went US, China, quite a few. Singapore, I mean outside Simalu, Chinatown also all got try one. I'm a very curious person. I just like to try. I hear.
You actually try. You went.
Yeah, I really try. Those like when you say that $20 one, quite accurate in terms of just generic character, but like they cannot really give me timeline and things like that. But I think normal cause I'm 10 minutes that kind. $10, I mean, is what you pay for. But there was one I went, I won't say names. It was not in Singapore, it's overseas. So this reader say, I want to see your left palm. I say, why do you need to see my left palm? My left palm is what I'm born with. Shouldn't you be seeing my right palm? They're, oh, yes. So they see my right palm. They see my right palm, I started having a splitting headache. So the headache, I think, comes from the person using very, very strong intuitive energy. But I don't know how my intuition works. If somebody's using very strong intuition or there is like external things at play, something like that. Like I'll start having a headache. It's like a it can call it
sensitive to energy.
a slightly.
Yeah.
I'm a bit more sensitive energy. Then
Mm.
this person started saying things like, "Oh, tomorrow this will happen," which didn't happen, but it happened 5 days later. But okay, it's considered accurate lah, somewhat accurate. Then
Delay by
say
5 days.
then it say
Different time zone.
say certain things that people will be saying about me, which is also accurate. But it's not things you can see in palm line one.
Mm.
And then they said, then after that, then they said, okay, so I say, what's the charges? They say, oh, one palm is
Piper palm.
1 palm is like 100. 2 palm is 188. Then in my heart straight away, I was like, okay, so this person is not a palm reader. It's just using like palm reading as a modality to give like very intuitive advice. You get what I'm trying to say?
Oh.
So that's why I always tell people, like, don't blindly listen to anything anybody say,
Validate
especially me.
first.
Just listen. You can listen to healthy skepticism, but take only whatever you sense might help you. But this person, the intuition quite accurate, like what people say about me or what might happen a few days later, maybe not the next day, really did happen. But it's not something you can see in public. I can't see what happened next day. I can't see what you eat.
Mm.
I can't see what people are saying about me. It's really very impartial, statistical timeline.
It'd be very weird. If like you can see.
I'm very interested. So people do the
Then,
read.
then the person was like, so what do you do for a career? I can see you are a very spiritual person. I said, I do palm reading.
Oh.
That was like, oh, we should collaborate. I said, no.
That is saving grace. We should collaborate.
Then the person was like, are you sure? I said, very sure, no. Have a good day. That just walk out the shop. Yeah.
So
no.
you let example at the Guan Yin Ma outside one. They read that time. Will you like counter check yourself now?
Oh no, usually I can tell whether they are saying things that are accurate already or not.
That's sign telltale signs one.
No, usually because if you are more self-aware or you are somewhat aware, like naturally whatever people say, you can sense whether is it accurate or not, or do you align with it. It's a natural
Sometimes they
intuitive.
give the answer very generic, apply to everybody one. You know those kind.
But then never mind lah. I mean, it's just $10-20 you get her lah. It's okay lah. You know, it's the effort of the connection. But I won't be like, oh, you must be like think negatively. Oh, it's accurate or not accurate kind. Like I'm not a judge to see who's accurate or not ma. But if they really give you that high energy, it's a basic respect ah. Just like okay.
The takeaway I have from today, right, is actually palm reading is not just lines that you are born with and stuff. Like it's also the advice that we can get from expertise, professional like you guys, and we can change our affinity and all. Do you have like a summary you want to tell the audience about like palm reading in general?
Palm reading ah.
Yeah.
I truly believe that life is in our own hands. So instead of waiting for things to work for you, right? A lot of times when we become the change, then you see your life really will change. Like I say, you do good, you get good. If you want the world to be a better place, then you yourself just be a better person. Then the world become a better place, and you have better lines, because life is really in your hands. It is really fully up to you to decide.
It's not just destiny, you can change it. Yeah.
Also must be willing to work on it. Like if
Yeah.
you see your life is good and then don't work on it, everything also will not work out.
Yes. Because potential can disappear also, you know. Like people's like, like how much money they're supposed to earn or how much success they're supposed to have, how much recognition they're supposed to have. It can also disappear over time if you don't work on it. Because you don't work yourself for people to recognize or to maybe say respect or do things that becomes a positive impact for industry or the people around you, then all this like recognition or you can call it like influence lines will also disappear one.
Okay, that's all. I'm sure everyone learned something about palm reading. Thank you, Ling, for spending our time here with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
And thank you, Nicole, for coming and sharing her personal
Yeah.
experience
Thank you,
as well.
Nicole.
Thank you.